Hello, mine's John and welcome to another vlog. How are you? I hope you're having a good time whenever you're watching this. I'm doing loads of vlogs at the moment, so if I look the same, this will be, I think this is the third vlog I've done, but it'll be spread out over time when I upload it. So, I'm not looking the same every day. I'm just doing a batch of them in one go because I've got the time. This is episode 5 of my favourite movies, films, TVs, blah 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 blah. And this is vampire films. This is what I have been addicted to for years, and I think they're brilliant. I've got my dad to blame for that. He was into Hammer horror, Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, Dracula, Hammer horrors, that whole thing, so I think I very much take after my dad for that. So let's get on with it. Number 1 is actually Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's not the goriest of vampire films, but it treats it more as a love story, which is why I like it. I'm a bit of a romantic. I don't have a girlfriend. I've not had a girlfriend for years, but it doesn't mean to say that I can't be romantic and can't do that kind of stuff. But for me, the whole story of Dracula is the ultimate love story. It's this guy who loved a woman so much that he vowed that even after death he would come back and search for her. And that for me is just brilliant. He grows to regret how he came back to life and lived forever and so on, which again I think is quite cool, because most vampires portray as these evil people that don't give a damn and happy to be immortal and stuff like that and be evil. But Dracula in this is portrayed as being someone who kind of regrets being what he is. He's played by obviously Gary Oldman, and he is brilliant in this film. He is a brilliant actor. It was reported a few years ago that no one knew what his accent was, because every film he did, he had a different accent. It was never his own voice. So people were quite shocked one year when he actually spoke to people in his own voice. So that kind of made me laugh a little bit. Keanu Reeves is in it as well. And this is shockingly good. He's quite normally a very mute actor, not the most expressive, but he is one of my favourite actors. I think he is quite good. I think people really underrate him. They tear him to shreds in the press, but I think he's quite good. And in this film, I think he is very emotive. He plays a really good part. There's Winona Ryder and Anthony Hopkins. It's quite a star-studded film, which I think is why it did so well, because there was something in there that everyone could relate to. That's number 1. Number 2 is Blade. Shockingly enough, I'll tell you why in a bit. But I love how this depicts the vampire culture, in how they control the local authorities to keep their existence unknown to the general public. How stuff like that happens. You never really find out how big a spectrum that is, whether they are also influenced into the world governments and stuff like that. It's never explained, but I think it Would be. If it involved keeping their existence secret from mortals, I think they would have done it. Again, I love the fact that they all have little symbols to identify each clan and stuff like that. As obviously anyone who's followed my videos will know, I've done a video. I've got a tattoo, and I've done a vlog on that. And for those who so they know what it is. But for those of you who don't, I've actually got a vampire glyph on the back of my neck. It's a design that I did myself. Yes, it's not one that I took from the films. It's one that I did myself, and that's how much I like Blade. You know, I love that concept of identification so much that I wanted it on me. You know, so that's true liking. That is, you know. I've also got the Blade sword, the Daywalker sword. Again, I've done a vlog on that, so if you're interested, you know, you can check that out. I might leave the links to those 2 vlogs actually in the description, so if you want to check them out, you can. Yeah, you know, I like swords, so I thought, you know, I'd get that one. That was the first sword I got actually. I like, you know, I like the whole Daywalker concept, you know, the fact that the person can be kind of half vampire, half human. At one point I used to call myself a Daywalker when I was really into vampires and into everything gothic and stuff like that, you know. I've actually got a set of movie quality vampire fangs because I love vampire films so much. Yeah, and that's that. And number 3 is Interview with the Vampire. I love Anne Rice's depiction of the vampire culture. Yeah, she treats it so well. I've got tons of her books, you know, and I was so happy a few months ago when she revealed she was doing another of the Vampire Chronicles, because she hadn't done any for so many years. So that was quite cool. As I say, she treats this one very well. Louis in it, you know, is an awesome character. You know, a vampire with mortal qualities, mortal emotions. You know, she portrays vampires as these creatures who can care for things. They're not just these ferocious, vicious beings that are out to kind of suck blood and stuff like that. You know, and it's quite an emotional film. A very sad film. You know, you really feel Louis' sadness for being who he is. There's one scene that always brings a tear to my eye, and that is when the vampire circus, the Cirque du Vampire, as it's called, I think, actually captures Louis, Claudia, and her newly born mother, and they take them all apart. They lock Louis in a coffin and pick him up, but they put Claudia, who was only like a little girl, she's several hundred years old kind of thing, but she's only a little girl in like a vampire in a girl's body, and apparently that is forbidden in the vampire culture. Sorry about that. And so they put her in this tower that the sun can shine directly in. They lock her in there, and she dies. She basically burns to death. And the scene that I like is where Louis breaks free, goes into the room, this tower, and discovers her. And he touches her, and she just turns to ash. He cries, you know, so it's proof that vampires can cry. And you know, it's a really sad film. That part is also sad, and I love it. You know, it's a brilliant film, and that, people, is my top 3 vampire films. A few people might be shocked that there's not a film in there that they were expecting. My sister will be for definite. She will be unbelievably shocked, because Queen of the Damned isn't in this chart. When that came out, I actually bought it. I think it was on the day of release, and I watched it about 7 or 8 times in the first week alone. So I watched it every day for a week or so. It's got a brilliant soundtrack to it. You know, it's all kind of rock and metal and stuff. It's a vampire film with hardly any blood in. I think there's only one scene where there's like lots of blood. But it is a brilliant film. I love, again, it's Anne Rice. You know, it's part of the Vampire Chronicles, so you know, it's no surprising that I liked it. But I was kind of addicted to it at one point. so people might be surprised it's not in this countdown. But I think over the years it has kind of lost its quality, whereas the ones I've mentioned have kind of retained their value. But you know, this was a really hard countdown for me to do, because as I say, I am really into vampires. I own tons and tons, as you've probably seen, because I've got a vlog as well. If I'll show you my vampire collection, and it's quite an extensive collection. So you know, it was quite hard to narrow it down to 3. You know, there was like Blood Vein I could have included, Underworld, well, Underworld, I guess Quadrilogy of that name, West Craven's Dracula, random spin-offs, vampire Dracula type films. There was the Hammer Horror Dracula and vampire films like Twins of Evil. That's not one of my favourites, but I don't think it's worth mentioning in detail. I've got a film called Dracula 3000, which is like, obviously as you can imagine by the name 3000, it's set in the future. It's actually set on board the spaceship. I've got Coolio in it, which was quite amazing just to see him act. You know, he's such a quirky character. But yeah, that's all I want to say about that. You know what to do: like, subscribe, you know, stuff like that, comment, and we'll hopefully have a bit of a discussion about what I've just talked about. You know, so have a good time wherever you are. I'll see you in another vlog. Bye.